everybody, welcome to Bones Collector. Today on Bones Collector we're continuing our series where Lori and I are playing our way through our board gaming library. The reason why we're doing this, of course, is to show you up close and personal the mechanics and what the game looks like physically on the table. So we're going to play a couple of games, 2 or 3 games each week, and make a video about it and pass it on to you, and I hope you enjoy them. Hey everybody, welcome to Bones Collector, and today Lori and I just finished playing Galileo Project. Galileo Project is a 2023 title. It's a 2 to 4 player game. It can be played in 45 minutes to an hour, and it is designed by Adrian Hessling and the art is by David Sitbon. It is published by Sorry We Are French. And what's our other Sorry We Are French game? Iki, which was published in Fantastic, just like this one. This is an engine building game, so let me get that said right away. And let's talk about the publishing of the game. It's got a nice, comes with a nice game box, which I appreciate from Sorry We Are French. And then this got a picture. I just wanted to show you that picture in the box. And the rule book is very well written. You know how to play this game after you read the rule book. And it's got a little, like a cardboard insert that comes in the box, keep things separated, and everything fits in here nice and neatly. So that's really nice. Your player boards look like this, and they're thinnish. I mean, they're cardboard, not too bad. And the board is the same thickness as this. All linen stock for the cards, and there's 2 different decks of cards, characters and robots. Technology tiles are thick, the gold tiles are thick, and these wonderful mega credits are really nice. These are heavy like the new Splendor. These are heavy like the reissue of Splendor tokens, so they're nice poker chips, which are fun to play with. And wood, all the markers in the game are wood. The gold markers are wood. These modifier tokens are wood. And these robot modifiers are thick tiles. So yeah, this is a engine building game. It is a medium complexity engine builder, and I'll tell you how to play this game in a second. But I am going to say this: if you play this game one time and say, "Well, I just don't like that," you're really robbing yourself of a fun experience, because this is a well-designed engine building game. I will say I'm not that crazy about the art in the game. The character cards are cool. I don't care for the robots all that much, but hey, that's a minor thing to say. I just wanted to say it because there's not much about this game that isn't fantastic. So I wanted to say what I didn't like about it. I forgot to mention these level tokens that are in the game. Those are thick cardboard, and then these energy tokens are wood. I didn't mention those. Okay, in this game, it's Earth and Mars have been settled, and so you're going to have a marker on one of the tracks in the center of the board. These are influence tracks. The red influence track is Mars, the blue influence track is Earth. So depending on where your influence marker is on these 2 tracks is what's going to allow you to purchase one of these robot cards in the robot row, or on your turn you can take one of these character cards, and depending on which influence track you're on, you're going to use that special ability on that card. When you take this character card, it will give you a reward, a hiring reward of influence and or mega credits that are on there also. And then if you're on the Mars track, this is the red track, you're going to do that function. If you're on the Earth track, you'll do that function. So you're looking ahead and asking yourself, which one of those do I want to do? Now later on in the game, when you're affecting the moons over here, you might be able to do both. But that's the basis of what's going to happen in the beginning of this game. Now what you're trying to do, and what Earth and Mars are trying to do, is settle and make these 4 moons habitable. The moons are Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. So those 4 moons, you're trying to make them habitable. That's the theme of the game. And you're doing that by buying these robots and making these places safe for people to live on. So as a corporation, it's a race to see who can settle these 4 moons. And these are basically just tech tracks. That's what you're doing with these markers, is moving up these tech tracks. And you're trying to weave those functions together with these gold tiles for the end of the game scoring, and these technology tiles. And you get 12 of these technology tiles. They're double-sided, and they're going to give you a benefit, which sometimes is really good, and you're paying attention to those technology tiles and when you want to get them to help you out. So there is a lot to think about in this game, and this is our third play, and now I finally feel like I know most of things that are going on. There is a lot of iconography in this game to unravel. Now, this game needed a player aid, for sure, a tarot-sized player aid that would give you the iconography benefits listed on a card, so make the game faster for you, faster to learn. And that's why I say there's going to be a lot of people that are going to play this game one time and just write it off, because you have to memorize that iconography and understand what it means. Now, it's all in the rule book, and there's a page that tells you what everything does, but you're in there all the time with it, and that gets a little bit aggravating. It should have been printed on a card, and I'm sure somebody's going to put one on Board Game Geek. I wouldn't let that stop you from playing or buying this game. It's fantastic. I think on Board Game Geek, I looked right now, it's $32 a copy on the Geek Market, and of course you have to pay shipping. I got this in my local game store on the clearance table for 30 bucks. Of course, we don't have to pay shipping. We just walked in and bought it.
Was it Black Friday?
Yeah, it was a Black Friday thing, I think. So we were able to pick it up cheap. And the game does come with scoring pads, a whole thing of them. We just laminate one and use it. So when you're buying these robots, you're going to place these robots on these moons. Each robot has a place where you can put, one of the moons where you can place this card. It has how many places you can move your marker on that moon. It has a special benefit that you're going to take, and if you have more of these particular robots in your play area, it's going to be a multiplier. So if you have 3 of them, you're going to do 3 times that. So you're thinking about that also. Then up in the upper left-hand corner, that's the cost of that robot.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to be on that track to purchase this. At the beginning of your turn, you can pay a mega credit, one of these green poker chips, to switch influence tracks. And on your player board, in the center of your player board, it tells you exactly what you can do on your turn. Right in the center. It tells you can pay a mega credit to switch these influence tracks. You can acquire a character card or a robot, and then you can place one of your goal tiles over here for free if you've completed that goal and scoring for the end of the game. Now, there are 2 endgame triggers in this game. When this character deck is depleted, the game ends right now. Or when someone has built their 10th robot. So you're paying attention because it goes pretty fast. Once you learn this game, like I say, 45 minutes, this game's going to go pretty fast, and you're watching because these character cards disappear pretty quickly. And depending on the number of players is going to determine how many cards are in that character deck. With 2 players, there's a lot fewer of those in there. But you're watching that character deck get smaller and smaller, and you're asking yourself, okay, what do I want to get done? Because there's like 2 cards left in that deck. So, I kept watching Lori's board. I'm like, is she going to want to take one of those character cards? Depending on where she's at in the influence track. If she's way down the influence track, of course, she might want to consider doing that. So I'm thinking to myself, what do I want to get done to score some extra points in this game? And a lot of times, again, you can play this so many different ways. Again, this is my 3rd play. I think the second time I played it, I tried to get a couple of robots on every moon, 2 or 3, as many robots as I could on each moon. I was trying to get all the moons settled with 2 or 3 robots. So I was affecting the game that way. And then this time I played it, I only concentrated on one particular moon, and that was Ganymede. So I tried to get my marker, and I got all the way up to number 12 on here, plus 1 robot on each of the other moons. And I think I scored 46 points, and I don't know, every time you play this game, you think, well, I could have done a lot better than that. But here's the thing. The technology tiles and those goal tiles are going to determine how you play this game, because those are the ways you're going to score. And those benefits that you get from the technology tiles that change every time you play it. So it has nice variability because, like I say, you've got 12 of these tiles, and you can only buy 1 each of those tiles. So once you get one, you have to buy a different one the next time you do that on your turn. And that counts as your turn when you buy a technology tile. That's your turn. But so you're going to ask yourself, can I sacrifice that turn? Because again, this game doesn't last that long. There's a lot to this game, but it goes pretty quickly. And you're thinking in a compact way. You're trying to get as much accomplished as you can before things start to, these deplete here, this character deck, or you see somebody getting 8 or 9 robots built, you're like, they build one more robot and this game's over with. Where am I at? What do I need to accomplish? And that is really something that makes the tension in this game and puts the pressure on players to be able to try and do the best they can in a short amount of time. The first time I played it, I was like, well, I think this game is good. I mean, honest to goodness, that's what I thought. I think it's good, but you can't tell after one play. And we played it a second time, and then I said to myself, well, it's really good. And then, but I still don't understand everything you can do. And then this third time we played it, I began to see all the many paths that you can take when trying to play this game. And that is very beautiful because it's really a small game. I mean, what you see, this is a 2-player setup right here that we just finished playing. This main board is it's longer, but it's, you know, it's only about 10 inches wide here, and so it takes up very little table space. You're really trying to weave your own strategy together. The only interaction there's going to be is who can get their goal marker on these goal tiles first, or maybe there's a robot you want to acquire, somebody else beats you to it, those types of things. But other than that, there's not a lot of interaction in this game. But again, it's a thing of beauty. This is a well-designed game, and I really didn't have it on my radar all that much. I had watched it played by somebody. I watched them play it for like 20 minutes, and I understood that it was an engine builder and a little bit of how it worked. But man, I tell you, you don't know anything until you play this game 2 or 3 times. Then you begin to understand how many different ways there are to play this game, and that makes it a beautiful design. I'd never heard of this designer, Adrian Hessling. I had never heard of him, and I looked him up on Board Game Geek, and he's only done one other game, so I was surprised to see that. And his other game was a minimum 3-player game, so I will never, of course, play that game. Galileo Project is fantastic. You know, you have Splendor, that's an engine builder, and Project L is an engine builder. Those are very simple engine builders, and I love both of them. They're my top 100 of all time, if you have watched that video series. And then Wingspan is an engine builder with a little more complexity. I think this is more on the level of Wingspan. It's not a beginner's board game. This is something that...
Because of the icons, especially.
I mean, without a player aid for the iconography, this is a tough game to really get to the point where you're playing it quickly like it's supposed to be played. And hopefully someone develops one and puts it on Board Game Geek and we can get that downloaded. But it needed one. I think that's the only thing that the publisher missed, was that player aid. It really needed a player aid.
Because some of those icons aren't intuitive.
No, they're not. And there's quite a few of them, so you're asking yourself, you know, what does that mean again? But it comes with repeated plays, and you learn what they are. But here's the thing, people like me that have a lot of board games, I'm not going to play this board game maybe for another 6 months. And in 6 months, I have to ask myself, am I going to be able to remember what that robot card with that double moon icon means in the bottom? No. The answer is no. I'm not going to remember, because I've played a bunch of other games in between. And to be able to whip out a player aid that would help me remember and recall what those things do would really be outstanding. So that's just one thing. That's the thing the publisher missed the most, was getting a player aid for this game. That being said, it's still an outstanding board game. It's so much fun to do this game. And really, I want to play it again. You know, we just got done playing it for our 3rd time, and I want to set up and play it again because it's so different every time. And you mix up these technology tiles, you mix up those goal tiles, and it changes the game exponentially on how you play it and how you're going to settle these moons. Like I say, and Laura's got 3 cards on one moon, 2 cards on 2 other moons, and 1 card on another moon. And I had 3 on one of mine, and then 1 on each of the others. I only had 6 robots, and she had 8. So I was watching her. If she was going to get some more robots, I was really going to start to sweat, because she was obviously... And you get to decide when to end the game. You know, I mean, when you see there's 1 more card in the character deck, and you're like, okay, I think I'm ahead. I'm looking at everything, and you can't add it up. Yeah. You try and you look and you say, well, I don't know. But if you think you've done well, you might want to grab a character card, put that last, make that last card come out, and end the end of the game. Or you have 9 robots, and you're like, man, I'm doing pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and buy another robot and end this game. So players decide when the game ends, but in this particular game, I only had 6 robots, and I saw that we only had 2 character cards left in the deck, and I tried to stall. I tried to play my game without taking character cards, and, buy a robot or pick up another technology, things like that, so that I didn't end the game prematurely, because I thought we were close, and we were. But I was able to eke out this win. I don't know how. But
yeah, I was like 2 things away from being able to beat you, but didn't get it done quick enough.
Yeah. So but it's a, what do you think? I mean, it's a fun game, yeah.
I like it. It's different. It's an engine builder, but it's different than the other ones that we have.
Yeah.
It's just, I like having games that are different, and that is different. And I love the poker chips.
Yep. I mean, it's well designed, and there are some helpers on here. If you, at the beginning of your turn, if you want to switch your influence track, it has right here, pay a mega credit. Well, it was at the beginning of the track. You have to pay a mega credit to switch influence tracks. You do that right at the beginning of your turn. That way you can buy a robot with the red influence cost on it. If you're on the blue track and you want to switch, you go to the Mars track and you can buy that card. So you may want to do that, or maybe there's a card in the character deck that you want to get and you want to tuck that card, so you have to be on Earth. Like Lori's markers here is on the Mars influence track, and she wants to tuck this card. And the only way to do that, because she's on the Mars track, she'd only get to use the Mars benefit. So if she wants to use the bottom, she'd have to pay a mega credit, switch her influence to the Earth track, and then she could take this character card and tuck that card underneath her player board. Because you're only allowed 3 of these underneath your player board that you tuck, and it has a small scoring opportunity at the end of the game, and I mean small. I think, I don't know if I've scored more than 4 points on one of those cards. And then at the end of the game, to make things even more interesting, is you have to have enough mega credits and pay for each one of those cards you've tucked. So if you have 3 of them under your board, you better have 3 mega credits at the end of the game and pay for those cards or they don't score. You can have a bunch of them, and if you go up this track, on Ganymede Moon, you can tuck up to 6 cards. Well, if you end up at the end of the game with maybe you only have 3 mega credits left, you're going to have to choose which 3 you want to score and pay those mega credits. But that's something else to think about during this game. And it's well designed, but it takes you a number of plays to realize that in this game. Also, like the size of the box, it's not a very big box. I'm trying to think of a game that we have that's this size exactly. I don't know.
Res Arcana, probably.
Maybe Res Arcana, yeah, I guess so.
The iconography is what will kill that game from being popular.
Yeah.
It's...
Well, I mean, again, some people memorize that stuff quicker than others.
Yeah.
So the iconography for us was difficult, but we're old, and we can't hide from that. But repeated plays, we were able to understand and remember what most of the iconography meant, and then it was easier to play. Kiddo.
You're going to have company.
Yeah. Yeah, I would rate this game very high, but it took a while to get there.
Yeah.
My first play I would have said, nah, I don't think so. I kind of felt flat, just because I didn't understand it as well as I should have. And now that I've played it 3 times, I get it. This game has a lot happening, and there's so many different ways to play it. That's what makes it such a good game. You can play it so many different ways. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Galileo project by Adrian Hessling. Nice job, Adrian. Thank you for a great game. I think it's outstanding, and I think if you play it, if you like engine builders, first of all, if you like Wingspan, if you like Wingspan, it has that same kind of feel. You're building an engine of cards, but it's around these moons, and that's pretty cool. And to move these markers and to get the different effects as you go up these moons, because they have different point totals that you can achieve by moving up these moons, and then also benefits as you go along these moon tracks that will help you during the game. So there's those things to think about, and just so many different ways to weave your strategy. That's the Galileo project. If you have any questions about anything, please leave them in the comment section. I mean anything about Galileo project. If you have a question about this game, I will try and get back to you and answer it. This game is beautiful, it's fun, it's fast, and for good measure, it's good to look at on the table, and it has these poker chips that are just fun to stack. as you stack them up, you know. And that's one of the gold tiles in this particular game was first one to 8 mega credits got to place their marker on the highest point total.
Which you did.
Which I did. But I mean, even if you're second, you're only losing 1 point. And that's it for Galileo Project. I hope you get a chance to play it. See you next time on the Bones Collector. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, welcome to Bones Collector, the board gaming channel for senior citizens, because that's what we are. We just finished playing Colony from 2016. The design is by Ted Alspach, who owns Bezier Games, and Torio Hojo and Nakatsu. So you have 3 designers on this game. This is an engine building game with some dice rolling, and it's a race to 20 points. As soon as somebody puts their marker on 20 points, the game is over. There's no bonuses, no second chances. That's the winner. And we really love this game. And we had this game when it first came out, sold it, got it back, and I'm glad we did because it's just a game that it fits our play style. We just played this one in 45 minutes. And that's about the average time, I think, for a game of Colony. But let's talk about the publishing job. Bezier Games always does a wonderful job with their games. And this is no exception. A nice sturdy box that it comes in. I'm going to set that right there. And this is kind of like a Dominion thing. And if you've ever purchased a Dominion card game, you have dividers here that hold all your cards. This tells you where the cards go. And underneath here is a place to store all your dice and your markers and your chippies. So that's pretty cool too. I really like that. Colony's been out for 5 years now. There's been no expansion release, but I wish they would because it's a terrific engine building game. And it's a dice roller and we just love it. You have 2 different types of dice. You have stable dice, which are the white ones, and these frosted ones are unstable dice. And you're going to simply roll those dice and you're going to satisfy the requirements on the top of these cards. And you can see this card here takes 5 6s and a 2 in order to purchase that card and put it in your tableau. At the bottom of each one of these cards is an orange circle, and that means that's a point. And so when you build that card, put it in your tableau, you get a point on the scoreboard. And it's easy to keep track of that because if you ever get confused, you just go through your tableau and count the orange dots. It's that simple. Some of the cards are a little different, but you'll figure those out as you go along. And then you have these chippies, they're called, that you can get, and those allow you to roll some unstable dice. Once you collect some of these, you can roll up to 3 of those per turn. The game comes with turn reference card and a symbol reference card on the other side, so that's pretty cool. And you have all these cards, and the way you can choose these, it has a companion app that you can download on your phone, and it will randomize for you. I mean, you can go through and grab cards and randomize it yourself. But the app's pretty cool because when you randomize it, you can custom that to your play style. You can tell it what cards to never use, maybe what cards you just want to use once in a while, and that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool. And then just hit that randomizer and it tells you what cards to put out. You have these same 6 cards out that's in this top row, and then you have 7 cards on the bottom row, and those can change from game to game. And they do different things, and some of them are interactive. You can trade with your opponents and attack your opponents. There's some attack cards in there if that's your play style that you can use. We leave those out of our game, but we enjoy what is left in this game and really like Colony. It's a wonderful engine building game. Now you start out with the basic 4 cards that are going to be in front of you. One of them's a warehouse, one of them's an upgrade card, a supply exchange where you can get a die that you need by trading in 2 identical dice. And then you have a construction card that allows you to do 1 card build per turn. And this upgrade card is very important because you need a 1, 2, 3, 4 to do an upgrade, and then you start upgrading these basic cards, and you can do more than 1 construction. You can do, instead of 2 identical dice to get a dice you need, you can trade in any 2 dice to get a dice you need. So little upgrades like that on the cards. And instead of no points on your basic card, you get 1 point. So upgrading these gives you another point. And I had all of these upgraded in the game we just finished up. And you did too, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's something players will probably do. Maybe not right away, not in the same order, but eventually by game end, you're probably going to want to have those all upgraded. And then you're going to have benefits that these cards that you purchase out of this market once you put them over in your tableau, they give you a certain benefit, whether it's a die of a certain number, or, I mean, there's other cards like this Fallout Shelter that gives you points the more of those that you buy. This Reactivator lets you reactivate a card that you've already activated, because once you use these cards in your tableau, these basic cards, you have to tap that because you can only use it once per turn. Except the construction now, you use that once, but if you upgrade it, you can get as many constructions as you want. But, I don't know, what do you think of the game?
I thought it was really, I always liked it. It's just we didn't use so many of the cards, is why we ended up getting rid of it, but nah.
Because it does have some interactive cards, some to attack other players. And I have mixed feelings about that. I mean,
we have never tried it. We could try it.
You could throw them in there.
There's cards in there too that can prevent you from being attacked. So
it probably makes the game very interesting, I would think, and it's probably something we should give a shot to. But again, you don't have to do that if you don't want to, and that's what's important. But the game is a gas. I mean, rolling all of these beautiful dice.
It's fun rolling the dice, yeah.
Yeah, you get a bunch of them. You're going to roll 3 of them on your turn, at least. That's the prepare phase, and again, it goes through the phases of the game on your turn reference card. And then you're going to take turns. I'm going to roll three dice on my turn. I'm going to take, since I'm the one that rolled it, I'm going to take my first choice. I get to choose first. My opponent will choose 1, and I'll get the 3rd die. So I get 2, my opponent gets 1 when you are the person, the active player, the one that rolls the dice. And that's how that dice drafting works. And again, you're going to have cards that are going to give you dice throughout the course of the game. And then you gather all those up, all these dice that are off your cards, and dice that you roll, and put them in front of you, and you try to make what you can out of it, the best you can, to score as many points as you can, and get to 20 first. And again, it takes you about 45 minutes because it's slow going at first. And there's a lot of different ways you can go about this. I mean, this is a card called the Investment Bank. It takes 3 6s and a 1. When you get that card and put it on your tableau, you take a die from the supply with a 1 on it, put it on there, and then from now on, if you pay a set of 1s, a pair of 1s, you can turn that up to a 2. If you do it again, to a 3, to a 4, you can see how that works, and you can score points that way. So that's kind of fun. And I did it this time, and I got it up to a 3. So that was pretty cool. And then, like I say, other cards in here. Here's a card where the guest quarters, once you purchase this and put it in your tableau, and it's got 2 orange dots on the bottom, so it's 2 points. And it allows you to trade with your opponent, and then both of you gain a chippy. So you could, maybe on your turn, you'll say, oh, you know what, I need a 1. I don't have 1, so I'll give you a 2 for that 1 that's in your warehouse. And I'll take that 1 from you, and then both of you get a chippy. So that's kind of interactive. So you're taking a die from somebody that maybe they were planning on using, but they get some compensation, so that's not too bad. You know, so we kind of like the guest quarters card, and that's pretty cool. And then this is called a Scrap Shack. When you get this card, you get a 5 when you build it, first of all, a stable 5, and then, which if you don't use it, stable dice you can put in your warehouse. Unstable dice, you have to use them or lose them. And then it gives you a unstable 1 every turn. So that's pretty cool. But stuff like that. And this is a futuristic thing. It's got some, I mean, I love the cover art on the box. And then the art on the cards is kind of cold. It's kind of a post-apocalyptic theme in this game. The rule book is very good. You will know how to play this game when you go through the rule book. Font size is nice.
And every card is described.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. But even in the app, if you, whatever card you choose, you can tap that card in the app and it'll explain that card and what it does. So that's pretty cool too. But hey, this is a fast game, a dice chucker that we've enjoyed over the years. I'm glad we got it back. Sometimes, sometimes you get rid of games and you're like, I mean, I don't see anything out there that's better than what I got rid of. But I like this game very much. And again, you can sit down. It's one you can pull off the shelf. And we haven't played it in years, have we?
No.
When was the last time we...
Let's look. The last time we played this was June of 2021.
June of 2021, so it's been...
almost
years.
2.5 years.
And we just threw it down on the table, and you know how to play it. Refresh, read a couple of the highlight rules, and boom, you're off and running. And we like those kinds of games, and 80% of our gaming library are games that you can let set for a year, take them and put them on the table after a year and play them very quickly. I like that. I don't really like a lot of games with a lot of complex rules. I have some, we have some, but we try to keep those to a minimum so that a game like Colony, we can yank it out and just start rolling dice, man. And we just love doing that. This is a terrific engine building game. I really wish Ted would give us a little bit of expansion material for it. But even if he doesn't, there's enough in this box that, again, if you have over 10 games, I mean, you're going to enjoy this game and keep enjoying it, and you won't get tired of it. There's enough in here to keep you interested. And this is a promo card that we got called the
Friendly local game store, FLGS. You have to have 6 sixes, but it gets you 3 points.
Yeah, you get 3 points.
That was a promo off board game.
Yeah, if you upgrade, you get 4 points. So on the back, see, you upgrade that and it gets 4 points.
So if you can get those 6 sixes, man.
I probably had that during the game, but we stuck that out there as an extra deck of cards
because it's not in the randomizer because it's a promo.
And neither one of us did it, but
no.
We should have probably. But 6 sixes is hard to do.
It's hard to do. Yeah, very hard to do.
I mean, you'll get a little frustrated in this game because it sounds like, oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you're like, oh my gosh, I've
got 20 dice and I can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh. It can be frustrating in a fun way, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
When you trade the chippies in to roll extra dice.
Yeah.
You might have said that. But.
And I saved them up. I had like 9 or 10 of them, and my last 2 turns I rolled 3 chippies.
Yeah, because you can only use 3 at a time.
Yeah, and I rolled 3 on my last 2 turns just to try to, because we were close.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously. But I figured I have to do it on my turn because she's done this to me in this game. Before we got rid of this game, she had done that to me so many times. I'd be on 19 and she'd be on 17 and take her turn and get 3 points and beat me. I get so mad. But
well, he beat me twice today, so he got his own back.
She made a habit of beating me with this game, and probably will in the future, I'm sure. But we enjoy this game very much. And again, Bezier Games does a terrific job with their publishing. Ted Alspach must be a terrific guy because he does great work, and we love his games. Yeah, we love Ted's games, and we still have Whistle Stop, we still have Subdivision, and we loved Maglev Metro, we love Suburbia. That is Colony from 2016 and Bezier Games. It's a great game. You can play it and get it with confidence and enjoy it, and I love every one of you. Please like, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time on The Bones Collector. And please remember to keep on board gaming. It's the best hobby on the planet because of great games from Ted Alspach and Bezier Games, and this one's called Colony. See you the next time. Bye-bye.